will share their knowledge and about growth, a business, and entering the US market. A few words about myself. I'm Alena Zhylich, the CEO and founder of Positify.ai. I have 20 years of experience in IT and have worked in many roles, from engineer to vice president of business development in one of the biggest European IT companies. And today I'm proud owner of businesses in Ukraine and US. And I want to share with you my journey. So people think differently about businesses around the world. For example, US business people often think about the future growth of their companies and company value in the market, while some in Europe, like Ukraine, focus more on making money now. So I just want to say that doing business in US can be tough, but it's also very rewarding. So the best growth strategies that I'm personally using and faced during my career and during my work with my clients are partnerships, franchising, and make company go public. There are some examples. The first example is my own company, Positify.ai. So what we do over there, we turn crisis into possibility. We help people who was displaced because of any situation. It can be loss of job or war, to find remote jobs in US and in Europe. So how my journey started, I personally moved to US only last year. I had a company in US. I was a partner also in American company, Global Edge Markets with Alex Romanovich. But because I appeared in new circumstances, I had to do, something new. So one of my friends approached me with offer to make a new business together and also make good for other people, help refugees to find remote jobs. So in the beginning, we used her legal entity. Later, we opened our own legal entity. But because of her network and her introductions, I was able to sign agreements with 6 Sense, Strike, Trusted Health. This is public multi-billion companies, very hard to get in. And within 1 year, we were able to place 18 people. Most of them are women with kids, and to help them to start new life in new countries. They are highly professional accountants, lawyers, designers, programmers. So we're pretty proud of this direction. Another example is Ascentex. Is the Ascentex position as a hyper automation cloud, and they leverage AI to streamline business process. Because of their strategic alliance with Genesys, one of the world's leading contact center software providers, and partnerships with different value-added resellers, they were able to open doors to prestigious brands, including H&M, Wells Fargo Bank, FCMB, Fidelity, and many, many others. Because stock market exists in US, I would really highly recommend people and you guys, and I know that we have mostly IT people here, to learn a bit more about franchising. There are I don't know if you know, but McDonald's, Starbucks, Hampton by Hilton, 7-Eleven, and I know even IT companies who use franchising as a growth strategy. What's good about this strategy? That brand owners transfer all operational risk to franchisees. receiving royalties in return for basically for the use of the brand. Of course, they have some other obligation like quality control, that everything like properly used. But in general, it's very, very comfortable model to grow. Another strategy to grow, and I really believe that this is like really must to think for every company that exceed like revenue, 3 million revenue, strategy to think how to go public. I also work with Excel. This is a cool headset company. The main idea of their product is to suppress the sound of shooting and amplify the sound of voice. And as you see, they've done really cool last year. So basically, in May 31st, 2022, they were only $2.5 million. And in May of this year, they become 23 million. How they did it? Basically, what they did, they were already public company. They acquired this new brand, new technology, Excel. And as they realized that this is actually blue ocean in US market, they just attracted investor. And basically, they spent a lot on their sales. As you see, they are spending about like $6 million for marketing, and this mostly Facebook advertisement. So that shows that it's like really scalable and you know, really, really good product to scale. This is what every investor is looking for. But what investor is looking for, Alex Soroka will tell more. But I really believe that this is really a real way how to have healthy and happy retirement for every owner. I know that I promised you 5 methods for company growth, but you know, we usually do our best and do better than we promise. So I listed 8 more methods. So for IT companies, it's like to replicate your talent within the team, add upsells and cross sells for your clients, build a community that builds your community, add service to a product and vice versa, implement monthly subscription methods, license your signature products. And about how to do it and why it's important, especially in US, our another speaker, Yulia Leschenko, will explain just in a few minutes. And create your own technology and patent your methods, and acquire and merge with your competitors. And of course, to make company successful, you should use combination of all of these methods. But of course, one more thing that is very, very important, and it's about like upsells and cross sells. It's very important to identify your niche in US market, and how to do it, Alex Romanovich will tell you later. So how can we help you? We can help you to find best talents. We can help to find you local partners and advisors, because as you probably understand it, like market, even if you think that it's all the same here, it's not the same. And of course, we will be happy to help you to prepare you for investment, even find investors and help to go public. How you can help us? As I said in the beginning of webinar, we are really looking for partners to collaborate with. So please don't be shy, contact me, and we are looking forward to success together. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And now I want to hand over to you, Yulia, who will discuss the topic of IP rights and explain why it's so important. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Just a second. You need to turn it off here. Motivation demonstration. Just a couple of seconds, we're gonna switch our presentations. Okay, great. So, hello everyone. My name is Yulia Leschenko. I'm a patent attorney. I'm an IP advisor, and I work in intellectual property for more than 14 years by now. So today, I really want to point your attention to intellectual property to tell you how important it is in any kind of business, especially in IT. Well, here you can see like few main objects that we're working with and that you should be like very interested in. Any kind of business, when you're just starting, no matter what you're doing, it can be like manufacturing of any kind of goods or providing any kind of services, you're gonna have your own brand. That's what you're starting with, your name. So that's a trademark, the object number one. I should say that you should be very careful and attentive before picking up any kind of name. You should check in the open databases if it's already taken, if someone else is using that. And also, if you need like an extra help with that, it's always better to refer to legal assistance, of course. The second very important object is a patent. It depends, like, you know, the idea that you're coming up with, it's not an object for the patent. The object for the patent is some kind of process or a product, like a device, for example. And depending on how complicated it is, it can be whether an invention, a utility model, or also as a patent, we protect industrial design. Basically, it is like the look of your product or the packing, which is also very important. If we're going to talk about copyright, like anything that you write and publish is already protected by copyright, any kind of artworks. And what is also very important for people in IT and any business, that it's also a web contact in your social media. You should remember that it's always better to register your objects, but in case with a copyright, there is a Berne Convention that does not require you to do that officially. You're going to get your protection anyway, so you can always refer to that. As for the IT companies, I would also advise to pay attention to trade secrets, because in some certain industry, you're going to have something special and valuable information. That's not something that you need to register because it's actually a secret. Only you should know about that, but you should use specific confidential agreements in your company. So, okay, let's move. As for your rights, of course, the right number one is you're using your own IP. But the most important right is the right to dispose your IP. You can transfer it whenever you want, or issue licenses for objects and get a royalty for that. That's, I would say, number one reason for you to register your objects, because when we're dealing with even trademarks like franchising, or especially with patents, if you come up with a great idea and you want to sell it on market, that's the way you should do that. But you should pay attention to a royalty agreement, because depending on the market where you're going to use it, what country, you should pay attention to tax issues of this country and legislature. So like never do the royalty agreement yourself. That's something that accountant should do together with your lawyer. Then it's the right to cease misuse. Of course, when you see that someone else is using your intellectual property, you see it on the internet, you see it in other companies, you write the disease letter first, and you're trying to stop these IP infringements. It's a long way, but first that you're doing, you're like writing the letter to them, and then if there is no reaction, you file a claim, and that's where you're gonna need a lawyer too. Okay, and talking about lawyers and courts, I just wanted to point your attention to three very popular common cases that we had before. And to tell you like what lessons we should learn from them. The first one was between Xerox and Apple company back in the years when this Palo Alto research company was making their first computer. They invited engineers from Apple along with Steve Jobs. So they looked at it, it didn't look that good for them at that point, but they got this idea, and sometime later, they launched their first computer called Lisa. It was more developed, I should say, but the whole idea, the computer with the mouse, it was the idea of the Xerox company. And when Xerox filed the a lawsuit for that, they still lost. And why? Because they came up with the idea, but they did not do anything with their idea. They did not file a patent, any copyrights, like nothing at all. So of course, obviously, they lost. The next case is between the Mattel Incorporation and MGA. It's basically Barbie doll versus Bratz doll. And the point of this story that the employee who was working for Mattel back at those times was actually inventing something new and was working with MGA Entertainment. Also, the Mattel failed. Why? Because they did not have a proper agreement even inside of their company that can regulate the rights of employees, what they should do while they're working for their company, basically. So, and the last is Artcom Innovation Pool. It's a German company. Back at those times, they created something like Google Earth and Google Maps right now. And at some point, of course, they came to Silicon Valley asking for some investments, for some money. Google listened to them very carefully, but they did not make a proposal that they were expecting. And the German company was like, okay, no, we're not good with that. We're going to go and look for something else. Later on, they filed a patent. They filed a patent in US, but that was too late. Because Google launched their own project, Google Earth. And when they were trying to file a lawsuit, also they failed because it turned out that back at times before they launched the project and actually filed that patent, it was open to public. You should not do that, like in any case. When you come up with any idea, first, what you do, you file your application with trademark, with patent, like with everything. You're filing application. The only person you can talk to is your lawyer, and that's it. Because once it's like known to public, it doesn't have that value anymore. So, and as far as we know, for example, the patent for innovation, you can use it for 20 years. The patent for utility model, you can use for 10 years. All this time, you need to pay maintenance fees, but you can earn a lot of money on that. Basically, intellectual property of your company is the best asset that you can use, like starting from nothing. Okay, here is a little short, like, I would say must-do list for IT companies in IP. First, you just need to define the scope of the legal protection and determine the object that you may have. Like I was telling you already, make sure it's number one, trademark, and then maybe you're having like some kind of new methods that you created that's going to be a patent, that's going to be a utility model. Also, then you go and you file the application and register them on certain markets. Talking about like application and registration. You should understand that there are like a lot of ways to do that. You can do that nationally. You can refer to an international organization that does that. You can do it in the whole European Union. You can do it like in each country separately. But usually you should understand that there are like some certain issues in every country that you should know before filing that. Otherwise, on the stage of examinations, you're gonna get a refusal and you're gonna be done with that. And just because you saved some money on the patent attorney at some point. Okay, then after you are done with the registration, you should determine the benefits of what you have. And that's when you can sign the licensing and royalty agreements. Once again, you should do that the right ways, right from the start. Then, of course, you need to monitor the maintenance of patents and certificates, and also monitor the lawful use and prevent all kind of infringements. I would just want to mention a few more things, how you usually do, like when you come up with some with something that you want to register. Usually you can do it like yourself if you are a resident of this country, but if you're trying to do that abroad, you need to work only with licensed specialists, like a patent attorney of specific country. Of course, the first step, you can go online, you can use all this free database to get like basic information. But then anyway, you're gonna need a lawyer to do all the rest. So that's few things that I wanted to tell you. And just to point one more time, how important is that? Any idea is the greatest asset. So if you have any other question, I'm gonna answer, put them in chat. You can also email me anytime or any of our speakers, and I'll be glad to help you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia.
Hold on.